California was a very quiet place in 1848. There were not many people there. It was peaceful and sleepy. But then everything changed. A man named James Marshall was working near a river. He looked down into the cold water. He saw something shiny. Was it a yellow rock? No. It was gold. James Marshall was very surprised. He showed the gold to his boss, John Sutter. John Sutter was worried. He thought, if people find out, they will come here. They will ruin my land. So John Sutter and James Marshall made a plan. They said, "Let's keep this a big secret. Shh." Do you think the secret stayed safe? No, it did not. A man named Sam Brannan heard the news. Sam Brannan was a shopkeeper. He was very smart. He did not run to the river to find gold immediately. Instead, Sam Brannan went to all the stores in the area. He bought every shovel. He bought every pickaxe. He bought every pan. He bought them all. Now Sam Brannan had all the tools. Then Sam Brannan did something crazy. He ran through the streets of San Francisco. He held up a bottle of gold dust. He shouted loud and clear, "Gold! Gold! Gold from the American River!" Everyone in the town heard him. They looked at the gold. Their eyes became very big. They thought, "I want free money. I want to be rich." Suddenly, everyone stopped working. The baker left his bread in the oven. The doctor left his patients. The teachers left the schools. Even the police officers left the police station. Everyone ran to buy a shovel from Sam Brannan. Sam sold the shovels for a lot of money and became very rich. The town was empty, but the river was full of people. However, the news was about to travel much farther than just the town. The news about the gold traveled very fast. It left the small town and went across the ocean to Europe. It went to China. It went all over the United States. People everywhere heard the exciting stories. They heard, "In California, gold is everywhere. It is just sitting on the ground." People thought, "Wow, free money. I do not want to work at my boring job anymore. I want to go to California." So thousands of people said goodbye to their families. They packed their bags and started the journey. But do you think the trip was a nice, relaxing vacation? No, it was terrible. In the middle of the 19th century, there were no airplanes. There were no fast cars. The trip was very long and super scary. Some people walked thousands of miles across America. It was hot, and often they had no water. Other people went on ships. The ships were small, dirty, and crowded. The sea was dangerous. Many people got very sick. They felt sad and tired. They thought, maybe this was a bad idea. But they did not stop. They really, really wanted the gold. Finally, the travelers arrived in California. Most of these people arrived in the year 1849. Because they arrived in '49, they got a special, cool name. People called them the 49ers. Suddenly, California was not a quiet place anymore. It was loud, busy, and full of strangers. The 49ers ran to the river immediately. They held their pans and shovels tight. They were very excited. They looked at the water and thought, "I am going to be rich today." But was it really that easy? The 49ers jumped into the cold river water. They started to dig and look for the shiny yellow metal. They worked all morning. They worked all afternoon. But finding gold is actually very, very hard. The 49ers stood in the water for many hours every day. Their backs hurt. Their legs hurt. Their hands were cold. Did they find big pieces of gold? No. Usually they only found mud and dirty rocks. Some lucky people found a little gold, but most people found absolutely nothing. The miners felt very sad and frustrated. They looked at their empty pans and thought, "Oh no, I am not rich. I am just wet, tired, and poor." But wait, some people did get very rich. Do you remember the shopkeepers? They were the smartest people in California. The miners needed food to eat, tools to dig, and places to sleep. The shopkeepers said, "Sure, you can buy these eggs. But one egg costs a lot of money." Everything was super expensive. A man named Levi Strauss saw another problem. The miners' pants ripped easily because the work was so rough. So Levi Strauss made special, strong blue pants for them. The miners loved these strong pants. Levi Strauss sold thousands of pairs and made a mountain of money. He did not dig for gold. He became rich just by selling blue jeans. After a few years, the gold was gone. The gold rush was over. Many miners went home with no money. However, California was changed forever. Before, it was quiet and empty. Now it had big cities like San Francisco. It had banks, businesses, and farms. In 1850, California became a state in the United States. So the gold rush was a disaster for the poor miners. But it was a great success for the shopkeepers and for America.